market just being so congested, and I think it's very easy to lose motivation. Joining Remote Rebellion helped me understand what I needed to do myself to get to where I wanted to be. And I really did spend a lot of time getting my head into it and trying to get to where I am now, so I can work from anywhere. I'm Cole, I'm from Manchester, and before joining Remote Rebellion I worked for a lot of telco companies effectively. It was always kind of in the office, or the only time it was remote was during COVID, as many people were. A few things came up and a redundancy started occurring where I was, and I'd been considering reaching out to someone like Remote Rebellion for a while. When I did start looking, I felt like Michelle was the only person I could see on LinkedIn who was actually actively talking about the kind of things I wanted. I was in a sales role prior to joining Remote Rebellion, and it was like reasonably high pressure, and I felt like any extra time that I had to kind of focus on work-related things, so I didn't really have the capacity to take on anything else, so that's how I felt at the time. I looked for remote roles, and I really struggled because I think a lot of them, for example, on LinkedIn will say remote, but then it'll also say country, and it's really difficult to decipher. So I applied for quite a few remote roles, I would say maybe 20 plus, and if I did receive anything back, it was never anything positive. So I think out of desperation, I did eventually reach out to Remote Rebellion, the only voice I could really see on LinkedIn and thereabouts. Booked a call with Michelle, and went from there. I was probably looking for about 6 months before joining Remote Rebellion. There are so many things that you learn on the course that I would not have known beforehand, and when I was like trying to complete the applications and the likes, it's things that now come like second nature. But you do pick up like a lot of tips. It felt like a very aimless, scattergun approach prior to joining Remote Rebellion, just searching here, there, and anywhere for roles, and then maybe getting further down the stage and realizing it wasn't actually a true remote role. I think a lot of companies kind of try and rope you in with that, although that's not always the case. The reason I wanted to reach out was obviously I wanted to work remotely, and that was something that I felt really passionately about. I spent a long time driving into the office, sitting in traffic for an hour and a half in the morning, then an hour and a half in the evening, and with a health condition, I felt like I was wasting a lot of time sat in traffic, and that was the kind of thing that would suffer because I'd obviously always like to be on time, and I felt like it was kind of my health that was suffering. COVID gave me the chance to really look at that, and I was just able to focus a lot more on my health, and I'm in a much better place. I think if it was something that was free, I think it's something that I would have felt a lot more casual about. And I think kind of investing the money into it made me focus on just getting through it and going through all of the steps, give you a lot of confidence as you go through, especially having regular calls with people and understanding people that have been in similar situations that have got where they want to be. I think having a CV that is kind of watertight and that you're really confident about, I think it really helped initially in the first part of the course, when it kind of helps you understand what it is you actually want, all the different types of remote work. There are so many things. I think the calls were super helpful, speaking to people. I think a lot of the interviews I ended up having came through recommendations. Again, just the community aspect of it and going onto the calls, because it's not something that's handed to you. You do have to work for it and keep applying, can be quite strict with yourself, and it is easy to lose. I think with the market just being so congested, and it definitely being the market for the hiring manager as opposed to the people applying, I think it's very easy to lose motivation. I think the regular calls with the team really do help boost your enthusiasm and eagerness to get back to it. So that was something that was super helpful. Joining Remote Rebellion helped me understand what I needed to do myself to get to where I wanted to be. Previously, I would not necessarily go for certain roles, but I think understanding better myself through having these like qualification questions, I think helped me open up and reach out to be like on each extra step that I did, whether it's placing someone down on LinkedIn or Loom video together on the application, these kind of things. I think the extra step often did get me the interview, and I think that's something I would not have even been aware of doing beforehand. It's given the opportunity to work from anywhere. It's a fully remote role, so I can work from anywhere in the world as long as I get my hours done. It'll give me the opportunity to travel and meet new people and not be stuck in the same 9 to 5 office job. Getting a remote job is always possible. I think it's knowing where to look and understanding your skills and having a fresh pair of eyes, the eyes in the community to kind of look at you and your skills and help point you in the right direction. I was initially skeptical about kind of paying money towards the course because I think with my circumstance, because I was being made redundant and there's kind of insecurity there. I felt like it wasn't something that I should necessarily do at that time, but I think sort of a leap of faith now because it really did make me think paying the money made me focus on it and to make sure it didn't just go to waste. And I really did spend a lot of time getting my head into it and trying to get to where I am now so I can work from anywhere.